Day one of the Northwest 200, and after the success of midweek racing last year, we've got daytime practice this year. These are the super sports, the track cold and wet, as the top dozen riders tried to cram in a time in case Thursday practice is wetter still. And what about the class of a top six that includes Michael Dunlop? Focus and concentration. And just in front of him on the timesheets, making a tremendous return, Stuart Easton. Years recovering from injury received here 2 years ago, but now fighting fit and ready to go. William Dunlop just in front of him on the leaderboard, always good on a 600 and managing the conditions very well, looking very slick himself. Guy Martin, a full programme of races this week in the familiar Tyco Suzuki livery. All in the 4 minutes and 50 seconds bracket. That puts just two men in the 40s. That's both the Paget's. Honda's Bruce Anstey on a 4:49.5. Starting quickly as he can do when he feels like it. When Bruce wakes up with his race face on, everybody else had better look out. And that is Bruce Anstey's race face. And in front of him on the leaderboard, as we say, his teammate, John McGuinness. Who'd have expected that on a 600? On mixed track conditions at which he excels. Here's confirmation of those times, just two men dropping down into the 4:49s, but that's more a symptom of conditions than anything else. Time now for the Superbikes. Bit of a refresher from the rain at the start, but it's basically dry and getting drier as the session went on. That meant that times came down in leaps and bounds. All of a sudden, big chunks sliced from the timing, and missing from it, Alistair Seeley. He didn't get a time on his 600, now fails to get a time on the big bike as well. McGuinness and Cameron Donald just outside this top six. Rutter in P6. William Dunlop in 5th place. And an astounding Josh Brooks, you have to say, in 4th. Then it was Dean Harrison. Bruce Anstey on the HM Plant Paget's Honda, back in black and back at the top end of the leaderboard. And just as the session ended, Michael Dunlop roaring to the top. Super Twins set the Northwest 200 alight last year, and they look like they could do it again this year. The leaderboard's dominated by Kawasaki, although 10 of the 33 runners were on Suzuki's. Ivan Lindzen rounded out the top six on a 5:14. James Hillier, 5:13 just in front of him. And then there's a big gap and a surprise. The number 44 of Jimmy Hamilton, dominant for KMR in the national races this year. And right at the back end of this little queue, splitting the machines, the KMR machines, William Davidson, an interloper on a 5:09. Is that a taste of what's to come in the racing? Who knows? Michael Rutter was in 2nd place on the number 1 bike, although it was close. And guess who? He said he was laid back, he'd come here to enjoy himself, and his racing days were over. But Jeremy McWilliams went racing in the sunshine as the track brightened up and went straight to the top of the leaderboard. He's in pole position on a 5:08.19. Rutter just behind him, as we saw, and then that surprise 3rd place from William Davison. By the time the super stocks came out to play, the track was in full dry condition. The sun was almost blazing down, and the riders were using this as a chance to get in as many laps as they could. But with the session cut to 15 minutes instead of the scheduled 45, 3 or 4 laps was the maximum, anybody could expect. Rutter rounding out the top 6 on this big bike, almost like his superbike. But then it's Gary Johnson, Bruce Anstey, 4th fastest. John McGuinness there in 3rd place, and just ahead of him with a very determined effort, trying to take ownership of the Northwest 200 this year, and the man everybody is betting on for multiple wins, Michael Dunlop. But after 2 aborted practice sessions, really needing a confidence boost as well as some laps, Alistair Seeley went straight to the top of the pile. Here's the confirmation of that, and as we've said for all the others, this could be the grid, or it might all change on Thursday.